Okay, let's go. I was trying to make a script for this, and everything I said felt wrong and fake. That's because it wasn't coming from true emotion, and also, I needed a minute to see the internet's reactions to this to kind of gauge it. But I think what has been making me the most upset is the Alex Myers take on obsession. So we're going to talk about it as I do some art. So first and foremost, let's read the description because some people don't really do that. Alex, sorry. There's something in my uh, I mean, okay. Obsession movie. After breaking the mysterious one wish Willow to win his crush's heart, see, to win his crush's heart, so the intent was always to win her over, and we'll get into wording and what that particularly means for Bear, the character, and the wider commentary I'm going to make on Alex Myers, because I regrettably have always been watching Alex Myers, so I have some choice things to say. And honestly, I don't care if he gets offended by it. Please, guys, do not send death, pain, threats, attacks, go to his channel or whatever. I think that there should be this sort of thing of respectful debate and internet commentary, which has been lost on the internet for a while. Keyword respectful and safe. Okay. A hopeless romantic finds himself getting exactly what he asked for, but soon discovers that some desires come at a dark, sinister price. Let's read this very thoroughly because I don't feel like Alex did this either. Country, U.S., obviously. Genre. It says horror and thriller. I'm kind of confused. I think Alex, our man, our buddy, um, are not really friend. Thought this was a romance, so very clearly not. Thank you. Year 2026. Director Curry Baker. Stars, tags, absurdism, antagonistic. Okay. Also, also, the tags play a part. Absurdism, something being strange, absurd, weird. Antagonistic, meaning Bear is the antagonist, meaning anti, and Nikki is the protagonist, meaning pro, meaning the main, like, as far as simpler terms, uh, Nikki would end up being the quote unquote hero, and and then Bear would end up being the quote unquote villain. I'm putting quotes because it goes by antagonist and protagonist, but some people might not immediately know what that is unless you look it up. Which you know what? No, I'm not letting anyone be like, oh, I don't know what this is, and that's actually no. Okay, protagonist definition. Let's go back to class, guys. Protagonist, the main character in a drama or literary work. In the Greek drama, the first actor to engage with the dialogue in the chorus. A leading principal or figure. Okay, so let's not go to the first thing because that's what you learn in research. Protagonist. Aha. Okay. Thank you. A protagonist, one who plays the first part or chief actor, is the main character of the story. The protagonist makes key directions that affect the plot, primarily influencing the story and propelling it forward. This character is often the one who faces the most significant obstacles and choices. Meaning, Nikki is facing and like resulting in these bad things that are, oh, why are you still okay? Can you release? Hold on, guys. Okay, basically that ends up meaning is that Nikki is the one experiencing all of this. She's on the other end of it, which becomes very clear. So let's go back to, and then antagonist means the opposite. Like I said, anti. So let's see. Okay, so my argument in this, let me pause this. Well, no, it's a 1 hour video. There's no way I'm pausing this. Hold up. Okay, so my argument is going to be that from the very beginning, and I'm not talking the beginning of the movie. No, 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 no. You guys are missing a key part here. The 7 years that Baron knew Nikki before the events of the movie. And if needs be, I'll do like a little script to follow on the side, but I'm trying to, because I have maybe 3 or 4 main points and arguments I want to make, but that would not be in one video. Why? Because unlike, this might be confusing or too much for people. Okay. Unlike our dear, lovely, amazing, wonderful. This is all sarcastic adjectives, by the way. Alex Myers. If you want to and really care about a video, you will spend 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, because I have work in 5 hours, but I'm passionate about this. So once I was seeing and watched his Alex Myers video, I was like, no, this isn't right. In the words of not Nikki, but I like to say entity Nikki. That's still in my notebook somewhere. My notebook of junk. That entity Nikki was like, no, 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 no. That's not right, Alex. That's not right. So that's my goal of this video, is that from the beginning, from when he met Nikki all the way until now, it has never ever been about Nikki. Number one. Number two, he has been a nice guy or an incel for a while now. It does not start in this movie, but we start to see it in this movie just because we are starting from currently, not in the past. But I will analyze that as well. So I'm about to rewind you actually, and then sorry, Art, I have to make a script also. File, new. Let's go with this. Awesome. Because the thing I feel like people are missing, and I will also research that as well and do a second take of this, is that again, the 7 years before this ended up happening. So nah, okay, cool. Just making sure. Bear, and I will be calling him Bear and Baron, just because we will end up forget. Can you zoom out, please? Hold on. Out. Because I've wanted to make this video for a month now, but there has been personal things going on. So the other two scripts I will also do. Okay, so with this, we are trying to prove that Bear has always been an incel from moment one, or a nice guy. Because the thing, Alex, that you are exhibiting and have been exhibiting since the first video I've ever watched of you, not the first video you've made, but the first video I've ever watched of you, is that your jokes are at the expense of women and portraying them as objects, as people who do not have autonomy, as people who, so to speak, don't have any say in what happens. And this is, um, the jokes that you make, um, or should I say, quote unquote jokes that you make, and we'll get into that, are very clear and evident. This handwriting is too big. Hold on. Okay. But it's very clear and evident that you, my dearest friend, are perhaps a nice guy and an incel. And I cannot say for definitively why your wife left, but if it's anything giving the behavior in your videos, then there is some things to unpack. Also, one of the let's see, one of the we do not like this writing, but it's okay. It's to get the video done before I go to work. That's the goal today, to get one of these video takes done, because I will be doing 3 or 4. It's called media analysis, Alex, in case you didn't know. So I'm about to put this in full, so we can start talking about Bear. Y'all, I was speaking for like 5 minutes and I didn't even know it was paused. That's amazing. What I was saying is that let's play it.
I feel like I think about you all the time.
No. Okay. His use of I. Baron's use of I. So in a relationship, it's supposed to be 2 full people coming together. That sort of, oh, we're 2 halves of a person and then we're gonna come together to make a full person. No, that's not supposed to be how it works, honey. Because if you're not complete, if you're not confident, if you're a coward, and we'll get into that and incel behavior. I just talked to a friend about this and I remember that discussion. It starts from the thing. It starts, and let's make a diagram because I'm wiggling my finger a lot. But no, it starts from the thing of men not having confidence, and it comes from, it's deeper. It's what happened to media analysis, chat. What happened? Okay, so first I would start off this circle. Oh, no, stop it. Can you just, thank you. Let's do some more circles. They're not gonna say anything in it. It's just to connect things as needed. Okay, because little like pictures help me explain things and have like linear-ish or more than words. Cool. Okay, got it. So with nice guys, with incels, it starts with a sort of, yeah, it starts with, one would be, you see that one? It's kind of tiny. Hold on, because I was making art and then I decided to make a video because I have ADHD. High five, guys. High five. Give me a high five. Yay! Okay. Yay! We're figuring things out. We're making a bit. Okay. Stop it. Stop. Okay, cool. 1. It starts off with the lack of confidence and the lack of self-esteem. What happens, what I have noticed is, and when I was in college, is that it comes from this sort of, firstly, lack of confidence, lack of security, lack of knowledge in yourself. And you have to be able to love yourself before you love someone else. People have been telling me this my whole life, and I was like, no, if you truly love someone, blah 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 blah, you can override that. And no. No, 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 no. Because, because, how are you gonna pour into a cup when yours is not full? How are you going to give someone else water when you don't know how to drink? How are you going to teach someone how to fish? You okay. Yeah. Okay. So first it starts off with no confidence. That's what Bear clearly has. Then it ends up going to boop 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 boop. To then it ends up going to the sort of thing of rejection. Sort of, I don't know a word to say it for. Sort of a fear of rejection. Let's just put it simply. A fear of rejection. I can't handle it. I've got rejected a few times before, and everyone's like this, and I should just stop trying, sort of thing. And then you internalize it, but also you project it. You internalize that self hatred. So instead of, and we'll get to the signs of him showing self hatred additionally, but it ends up being a thing that it's always about, it ends up being about him because his self-confidence is so low. He projects onto himself what he wants from himself onto Nikki. So instead of loving, obsessing, and caring about himself, he loves, obsess, and quote unquote cares about Nikki, which he does not. It's very clearly from the first memory we have of him, he does not. Then once it's, so first it ends up being, I might have to end up writing for this thing. It's okay. It's okay, guys. It's okay, chat. Where is, no, maybe if I make it tinier. Okay, so first is, okay. First is being a coward. Cowardness, not having self-confidence, that sort of thing. Then it comes from a thing of rejection. And actually it goes before that. So we're going to do a 0. Let's go right here. 0 is I can't feel. Okay. Yep. And it ends up being brought up literally right in here, which I've rewinded perfectly. Thank you. Thank you, other authors. We're working on this. Okay. No. No, don't do that. Okay.
That was cringe. Oh my god, I knew it.
Okay. This is important right here.
Okay, that was cringe. Oh my god, I knew it. I'm so sorry. I thought it was gross. Okay, this time.
Ian saying that was cringy, that was gross. It starts at 0. 0, boys cannot feel. Young men cannot feel. You cannot cry. You cannot be too angry. You can't be too happy. No. The main thing is that boys cannot be perceived as feminine, which ends up turning into toxic masculinity. Why? Because you need a balance of everything. Life is not about all working out and all vegetables and no fat and no sugars and no dairy and no. I'm sorry, that's my autistic stem right now. Whatever. So it starts with boys cannot feel. For reference, I have taught and have younger brothers. The first thing that I end up seeing and getting from most of the family, not all, but most of the family, is the push and the toxicity of oh, wipe your tears, you're a young man, you're a boy, you can't cry. And it starts disgustingly from the age of like 4 or 5 years old. What are you saying that a child who is a child, that is a little baby, cannot cry just because, oh, you're supposed to be a boy, you're supposed to tough it out, you're supposed to get angry, you're supposed to get mad? Like, excuse me, what? And then the sort of thing that men feel like they can't cry or are not allowed to show that they're crying until they break down and get made fun of. Like, I remember very vividly, I had a friend in high school, um, Ian Larks, we'll use that. That was his, like, character name that he wrote in stories. Whenever I would try to talk to him, he'd be like, "No, I can't talk about my emotions. I can't cry. I have to be a strong provider, blah, 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 blah," because his dad left. And I was like, okay, whatever. Yeah, I understand that. It's going to be hard. However, that should not be put on a young child as early as 4 or 5 years old. Oh, you can't cry. You have to feel angry. You're not allowed to cry. That's what girls do. Everyone has tear ducts in their eyes and are capable of crying. I feel like you guys forget that. So let's continue about Ian right now.
No, I'm not doing it again, dude. That was so embarrassing. Yeah, that would that freaked me out. Yeah, Nikki would vomit.
The thing in phrasing vulnerability as one, that it would freak someone out, being vulnerable freaks men out because they were not taught that. They were taught to be big, strong, tough men that can provide and do things for the woman. It's over. That's over. There's still a pay gap and misogyny and sexism, yes. However, women can get jobs. Women can go up to the nearest CVS, the nearest Costco, the nearest um supermarket, sorry, Britain for it, and apply to a job and give their application. Now, will it accept them? That's a whole nother thing. But women can work, so um, I don't know where that really uh still comes from. I know where it originated from. It originated from the 1950s. The sort of housewife had to be at home cooking, cleaning, stuff like that, because women had no rights. But we have rights. They're slowly getting stripped away from us. But that's, again, a whole nother topic. Let's continue.
Tore my heart out. You know how vulnerable I just got? I underestimated. What if you got her something nice?
See? And then even from the woman's perspective, she's like, oh, what if you do something for her? What if you get her something nice? What if you talk to her about her? What if you... Because notice also, this is not done with Nikki, which makes sense because they're planning for it. But also, that ends up showing that they're not even thinking about Nikki really during this. That is just a stand-in for a random woman. Like, to Bear and Ian at this point. Oh my gosh, do I not know how my phone... We don't know how the phone works, apparently, because I keep speaking and then it's not, whatever. 4 in the morning, guys. I'm also probably tired. Okay. What is paused on? Do you know how vulnerable I just got? Making it seem like, oh, well, I got vulnerable and I tried my best and blah, 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 and it should be seen as brownie points. Yes, wonderful, Baron. You decided to show a human emotion. Let's move on.
She doesn't like it. She doesn't. Flowers.
To say that she doesn't like it because Ian only uses Nikki for hookups, which we will get to in like a moment, because yeah, you are gross. You're fundamentally gross. You are. This is a toxic masculinity, Republican coded, nice guy incel, red pill sort of man trying to guide another man into that mindset. And it works very successfully. It works very successfully because at the end of the day, Ian only thinks about what he wants and his happiness. And yeah. So starts off boys can't feel, coward, rejection. So we're past the point of boys can't feel because Baron is, let's say he's in his 20 to 25, okay? Let's just give him that. He's in his early 20s, okay? He's past the point of childhood where your peers, your family will say boys cannot feel and boys cannot cry, okay? Good. Because even the way Ian is like, thank you, doesn't even like respect her as a person, doesn't say, thank you for your time, appreciate you doing this, you were in the. No, thank you, leave, thank you, go. That. Ian sees woman as an object. Period, point blank, full stop. No debate. No debate. You know why? Because bring up something that is not that she has said that she's uncomfortable with. First of all. Second of all, who wants to be referred to that 24/7? I know, I don't. And I got that from my mother Gothel. Anyway, so the point of that is no one wants to get referred to as an object, as sexual, as lustful 24/7. Because specifically with women, that is frowned upon. If a man does it, great. He's feral. You have to understand. It's just a testosterone, and that's how the way we're born, and that's the way that like it works. Like you have to understand our point of view. But God forbid a woman or a woman presented or a feminine sort of person is overly sexual. I've been experiencing this my whole life. We've been experiencing this our whole life. That yeah, you end up getting slut shamed, and people don't really like that. I mean, we should probably start treating men the way they treat us because, like, my ex, he would constantly be like, "Oh, well, I'm one of the good men. I'm one of the good men, and I don't know why I'm always treated and disrespected and over sexualized when I walk down the street." And I'm like, "Good. You know how women feel constantly all the time. I can wear the most disgusting, baggiest, whatever clothes. I still have the biology of a woman, so I'm going to end up getting catcalled and stuff like that." Now, there is ways that I can change my appearance and demeanor, but as soon as my voice comes out, I have recorded myself. I practice my voice and my pitch. I think I sound very masculine, androgynous. I'm very fine with my voice. I don't want to change it. However, to other people, they will always hear someone feminine and womanly, which also means for most men, not all men, most men, not all men, but I'm not defending the sort of behavior. I'm saying a lot of men, it can happen, but it is always men that dog, what was I saying? Hold on. What were we saying? Because we have tiny personalities in our head. Woo! Woo! Okay. Hold on. Freaky Nucky. Yep. No one wants to be referred to as that. Always women. Men don't think about the woman side of things when it ends up being of that. When women get overly sexualized, it's never, oh, a woman can have sex and have desires and be sexual. It's, oh no, she's a freak, she's a slut. refer to her as that, which is dehumanizing. Okay. Next.
Oh, she's sensitive about that. Hey, remember when you used to get bullied? Everybody called you Freaky Nikki. She'll be like, "Oh my god, no, there. That was so long ago. No, please."
See, his even idea of how she will react. Oh no. um that was so long ago. Like he sees it as flirting, as teasing. Like, and it's not. It's clearly not, but okay. Even Baron at this point, and his facial expressions, the acting, oh my gosh. I love the acting because as autistic as I am, I'm able to tell everyone from the first 3 minutes. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Fully, truly, and genuinely. Tone tags, yippee. But yeah, you can tell by the way Ian dressed. He's a very frat boy, very mocking, and does not take Nikki seriously, which then jumps over onto Bear. Not, and it always has been for the past. Let's go to the other thing. Hold on. I have to do a torso. Torso. Womp. Womp. I did it. Yippee. Okay. Move to here. So it ends up being that he is very. We might need to do another one. We guys. Guys. We need to do. Okay, so Ian, and we'll do a little hat. We'll do a little hat. Yeah, Ian is very frat boy, but he ends up mocking. I don't care about the how we like what. No. Mock. And then bear. Let's give you. You are gonna be an actual bear because it ends up being, again, the man versus bear thing is that a bear's nature is to attack, kill, and whatever. Like it's an animal. However, women would feel safer with the bear than a man because fundamentally we are human, we are people. When you decide to be so far gone that you actively choose to murder, kill, attack, rape, sexually assault, then it ends up being that aren't men who do that the animals? Because if you're actively choosing to do that instead of, being an animal that has to fend for, fight, protect its bear cubs, then that makes you an animal. And to feel safer and more nurturing and nurtured with an animal that attacks and kills than with a human who has the frontal lobe, the brain, the organism in their skull to not do that. Like, the fact that I have to explain this is wild, but that's where we're at with critical thinking, guys. So this is Bear. Okay. So they have been friends for at least since, we'll say, grade school. Grade school. Guys, we're not paying attention to my spelling or my handwriting and me. No one's. So grade school would be K through 12, right? So let's say, for the sake of this, and it ended up being like when did I get my braces? I think I got my braces in high school, so like 17. Yeah, 17, 18. Let's say, for the sake of this, 13 to 14 is when they started being friends. The friend group started knowing each other because they went to school together. So they have been friends for 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, for 8 to 13 years. So the way that Bear ends up acting is like a lost puppy, and he's ending up following and trying to act like Ian, but he does not have the confidence of it. He is fundamentally a coward and trying to follow in and be more bravado and be more confident like Ian, but he can't do that. He doesn't know how to do that. So let's skip because I've watched this part a few times. Okay. Nope, nope, nope. Hold on. This is okay. Oh yeah, the cat part. Nope. Okay, cat part. This is important. So I see a lot of people and have watched my fair share of obsession analyzation videos to obsess over obsession because gosh darn, this is a really good movie. Um really really a good movie. Makes you think, make you self-reflect, all of that sort of thing. Got you got you autistic stimming. So the sort of thing that people are saying or have not been saying, the duality of it, um, specifically with Alex Myers, he did not discuss or bring up all or a true like plot by plot point of the movie. My thing is that let me delete this. How do you can you oh no no close. Ah, perfect. No. Okay, awesome. So it ends up being the thing that um specifically Alex Myers did not end up bringing up as he claimed to do a full like breakdown on Bear and his character and um why did he feel why so strongly did he feel the need to defend or give a sort of other side to Bear? Because I've watched your content for a while and you feel like Bear is you, that people are not really understanding you and assuming that XYZ123. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. By estimation, and I am so far removed from you, by estimation, I'll say you're in your 35s to 45. So I'll give you that range. You're saying, as a grown man who pays bills, pays rent, goes to grocery stores, that you cannot think with your frontal lobe that, hey, maybe the villain of the story has some like bad traits that should not be defended. But okay, buddy. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Hold on, let me put this down so I can neglect. This shows neglect. And here's why. Where's your medicine supposed to be, guys? Just as a test. It's supposed to be in the medicine cabinet. Ding 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 ding. So how did it get all the way there? How did the cat get access to it? The cat does not have opposable thumbs. The cat is not anthropomorphic. So that shows a neglect of not only taking care of himself very clearly, because when do we see this man shower, brush his teeth, do anything like that? Really? Like, maybe once, and it ends up being a thing that Nikki has to do it for him, which is wild. You who as a grown man cannot shower, which is very interesting. Sorry, I'm just about to. Nope. You're just. How did you end up being better on the other side? It's okay. We love ourselves and we gotta be nice about art. You are about this size and then shift it over here. But I really like creating art as I consume art, just for the thing that it makes it feel like if they can do it, anyone can do it, you know? File, edit, layer, probably a little bit. This will just be the sketch. Nope. Okay, cool. Go back over. So, back to incel and nice guys. The thing specifically at my college and with my rapist ex is that they he like they meaning the group of men and he meaning individual men will end up saying or using the excuse of, oh, I got rejected and no, everyone's against me, and it's so hard and it sucks. Like, people say women have it hard, but actually men have it harder. Like, every time I think about him, it just makes me mad because, like, the red flags were there, girly. But it's okay because you have Stockholm syndrome. It's okay. It's okay. So where is it for this? That's what it is. Okay, it comes from boys who can't feel cow and neglect, and then it ends up going to let's put this a little bit bigger so it can, nope, probably too big. Refrain from joke, refrain from no, refrain from thank you. Yeah, okay. So it ends up coming to a 3 owed, feeling like they are owed something. So particularly with Alex Myers, with my ex, with the nice guys, the Republican people, men at my college, specifically when they were talking to women and around them and harassing them, they had this sort of thing. Oh, well, I'm being nice to you and I'm talking to you and I'm respecting you and we're having a conversation, and I didn't immediately start hitting on you. I waited until like the second month of talking to you. So actually, I should get some. Wait. Okay. For the men, nice guys, end up feeling that after rejection, you feel like you are owed. You feel like you are owed women and owed niceness and owed love. And why don't people love me? Why don't people care about me? Because it comes from the original, the insecurity of not being able to feel emotion, not being able to feel like the thing comes instead of crying and feeling sad. Boys are taught to feel angry immediately. And because what does it come from? Like, if you want to cry and people are yelling at you not to cry, like, come on. Like, come on, buddy. So then it ends up coming to a feeling of being owed. How the men were at my college. Oh, well, I didn't immediately hit on you, and your blouse was very revealing, and you're just around your friends all the time and walking around campus, and I didn't catcall you, so I deserve something from you. I deserve a date. I deserve blah 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 XYZ. No. You deserve the little tiny quote unquote respect that we feel like giving you, to be like, no, sorry, we're not interested. And instead of rightfully punching you and roundhouse kicking you to the face until your teeth fall out, just because you feel like you can stalk me around campus until I end up liking you, and then men taking advantage of me and my friends. So yeah, that's how that. Yay. Okay, so back to Baron. He is at the point that he feels owed Nikki, that he is mad, he is upset, he is perturbed, whatever you want to say, that he has been waiting 7 years. That's what I was saying in the original conversation with my friend, that it comes from friendship, and then friendship with the intent of dating. Sometimes, and what I have noticed, let me clarify this. Um, ow, 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 ow. And also, if you're getting mad at me saying men or all men, it is very clearly a population of 80, maybe not 88 billion people on this earth. So not, and let's split that in half very cleanly for this demonstration. So splitting it in half, it would say 4 billion. Let's say there's 4 billion men on earth. Very realistically, not all 4 billion men will be incels, nice guys, or murderous, rapists, crazy people who, stalk you around campus and then make all his friends like you and know you and talk about you as a object and a toy. Yeah. So not all men is very giving all lives matter. Just saying, oh well, I don't really like that you're saying this about XYZ, because it ends up being a thing of not taking accountability that men can be like this, period, point blank. Women can be like this, period, point blank. Non-gender conforming people can be like this. So taking that sort of onus, like, oh, not all men, takes away from the thing that, period, point blank, people can act like this. And if women, men, people are speaking out and saying men can be like this, first and foremost is not to silence or say that's not happening. So neglecting the cat, neglects himself, doesn't really shower. No, 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 no. No. Also, he doesn't really like grieve. Like, how did, like, why were your pills out, dude? That just shows neglect. Like, look at it though. Hold on, let me show you. Look at it. There's the food that's out, which the cat was probably trying to originally get to. There's the pills. Let me put this in. We're about to analyze this scene. There's some random food cans on the ground. If you look back there, there's a weird blurry thing. But there's like, it's very clearly a mess. So either Baron left it a mess, or the cat made a mess of the food trying to get to it. But also, the cat doesn't have opposable thumbs. This one is open. You can see that's a bottom and a lid. And then you can see that one is propped open, which means he opened that. He opened because the cat doesn't have opposable thumbs. Okay. So very clearly he has left it in array, and now he's coming to it like, oh, now this is the consequences of my actions, and I can't deal with it. That's what it comes from. When nice guys and or red pill or incels come from this sort of thing of, oh, I can't hurt people, oh, XYZ, oh, Alex Meyer is saying, oh, well, I didn't intend for the video to be like that and people aren't understanding what I meant, then don't make jokes and be serious for once in your life, buddy, go pal, because you didn't have to react to the Obsession movie. You know that. No one, like, held a pew pew to your head and was like, you have to make a video about Obsession, blah, blah, blah. No. For you, it is about the views and monetary over analysis. And I have seen that continuously because he make the same sort of repetitive jokes and sort of things. Like, you have a style. It's a haha funny joke, hee hee sort of thing. Which is fine. I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm saying For something that requires deeper analysis, again, it's only 5 minutes in, and I've been talking about it for an hour. There's so much to unpack that I'm not even gonna be able to unpack in one video. So let's get going. Let's keep going because I gotta go to work soon. Let's see. He puts it away. First of all, why are you putting it into it? Why do you have, like, dude? Hold on, let me. I didn't pause it in time. Why do you have so many? Let's count. Let's count together, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Baron, honey, why do you still have your grandma's meds? And or, why do you have so many meds? And why are you not taking them, honey? Because I know I'm supposed to be on meds. And I don't have money to take them. You very clearly have a house, a car, and meds. So either throw your grandma's meds, take your meds, but yeah. Look at him. He's just like a sad, depressed person. Which is not a problem. I'm not saying that. I'm just like, he very clearly does not really take care of himself. You can tell by his hair. And it looks like very... I don't know how to describe it. I'm sorry, I don't have that type of hair, but the way you can tell is like it's sort of a like stuck to his face situation. It's like when someone uses gel to like put down or style their hair. It looks like stuck to his, like, either it's breezy or just not what like in like the room alone. Like, I don't like bright lights, but most people like being able to see their house and stuff like that. Yes, it is nice time, but if you're gonna have a light on, maybe, have it to the thing of that you can like it very clearly. And then, dude, there's a stain on that shirt. Like, you, like, clean yourself, man. Clean yourself. Take care of yourself. But also, you need therapy. Okay. Yep. And look at the way and level of care that he's going to something that he actually cares about versus the rest of his house. Because you can see the cat, the ottoman, and some random bag. Again, I can't say that I'm perfect. However, this goes into the psychology and the headspace and the mind space of Bear. I have hoarding tendencies. I do not want to be a hoarder, but I will clean on my bad days. I will spend a care of clean to this and deep cleaning when I ignore everything else. And that's a thing about performative cleanliness or performative behavior, which ends up going into Alex Myers in addition to Baron Guy. We're gonna confuse it. It's okay. But no, performative, very performative behavior. So it ends up again being the thing that, instead of fixing what's the problem, which is your mental health buddy, or for the sake of Alex Myers, the things of what he said, he has never said, I am sorry. I'm sorry for doing this. What I said is wrong, and I take responsibility for my actions. Nope, it's always, I didn't mean this, and oh, I didn't mean this, and it's the fault of my editor, and it's the fault of my writer, and it's the... No. Take accountability. Because if it's everyone else, then it's actually you. And that's what I've been learning. If everyone else is the problem, maybe look in Oshun's mirror, and it's actually you, buddy boy. So, yeah. But no, living with and being a... Like, I'm not saying I am a hoarder. I have the capability, the mannerisms, whatever, to be like that. Um, that's why I over clean and over compensate with cleaning because I know how it can get. What I am saying is that instead of focusing on mental health, because it ends up coming from a sort of mental state and or a physical state, like neglecting. He's very clearly neglecting his physical care, his house, his stuff like that, his mental care. However, instead of focusing on himself, he's then projecting for the rest of the movie, because again, we're only 5 minutes in, he ends up projecting the rest of the movie that, hey, okay, let me focus on someone else instead of focusing on myself, which does not work, buddy. I tried that and it doesn't work. So, maybe focus on yourself. Baron and Alex, thank you. Let's go. Okay, so it ends up being they've known each other for a bit. But look at this. Look at her face doing it though. Like during it that Ace God. She looks very forced to be there. Like she's happier. Look at her. She's happier interacting with Ian. And I kinda am. I'm not sure their relationship or how long ago this was. Like guys, okay, so first of all, the way he is, let me do it this way. It ends up going, this is from 7/0/20. So July 8th, 2020. First, the way he looks at her and he's smiling. Very clearly, she does not care. She does not want to be there. And or like he's smiling. He sees this as like, oh, I'm taking a photo with Nikki, blah 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 blah. Look at her deadpan face, like when she's interacting. She either doesn't look at the camera, or she doesn't, or she when she looks at the camera, she's like, okay, can we get this over with? When she's with her friends, she's more happy. Look at her smile. It's like a wide eye smile. Also, very uncanny valley. Thank you. Amazing. But look at the emotion, the portrayal of emotions. I love this so much. This is so. We love this. Okay. And then Baron is very entity Nicky looking. His frown is like very perturbed and very like exaggerated. And then go to everyone. It ends up being, look at him. He still ends up. First of all, why are you gonna cross out your friend's eyes? What is? You need therapy. You just this is what it is. You need therapy, and Alex Myers needs therapy. Okay, thank you. But why would you cross out your friend? You know what that means. Okay, and then it ends up being Sarah lying across and end up the dynamic diagonal of these two are connected and should have dated, had feelings for each other, whatever. And then Nikki, look at her eyes. Hold on. Her eyes, she's looking at Ian. So that's why Bear crossed out his eye. Like, why? Like, Bear, you need help, man. You need help. More help than. Why are you crying? Okay. I mean, you might be crying because of the cat, but like. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, he's crying because of the cat. Okay. And let's see who he's stalking on his phone. Okay. So let me do something because I know this is coming from either Instagram or wait, no, it's coming from Instagram. Sorry. I was going to say Instagram or Snapchat because when I had an older phone, they would both come in like that and then it would take up the whole screen. But anyway, What are you doing? Why are you grieve your cat? Go to therapy. Okay, and also let's analyze this. First of all, he's scrolling on her page, stalking and obsessing over her. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that. That's kind of weird. That's kind of creepy. That's kind of, I mean, if your partner, your lover, is fine with that in a mutual way, then sure. But they're not even dating. They're just friends at this point. He's like fully head over heels obsessed about someone who does not like him. So it says Nikki, kissy, heart, because he has a crush on her, and then friend Freeman. I don't know. It doesn't say all the way. And then look at the image she provided for her. Why can't you zoom in? Can you lock in? Can you lock in? That's the most you can zoom in. The photo that he has. So for comparison, she is very happy, comfortable, whatever, in her clothing and the way she presents herself online. Right? Right. But the photo that Nikki provides for Bear is not a very comfortable photo. She has her hood up, she has a hoodie on, and she's very covered because and also the thing is that to think about this, even from Nikki's point of view, Bear comes across and talks about Nikki in a very possessive, owning behavior and mannerisms. And they're just friends. That's it. They are just friends. Nikki will know and pick up and be able to read and tell body language of like, oh, you're flirting with me and I can tell, and XYZ stuff like that. And obviously the friend group is close, so they might end up talking or might be like, hey, is Bear's behavior a little bit weird today? And they'll be like, oh, ha ha ha, he's just trying to make sure that, you know, you're appreciated and stuff like that. They might try to help him, sort of like that. However, Nikki wasn't born yesterday. They're all in their 20s to 25. Like, what? Okay, so let's continue. He sits up.
Hey. Oh, I need a good day off.
The tones. The tones. So, again, amazing. Amazing. I can tell this very easily. Nikki does not really care. She doesn't. However, it's gotten to a point that she is sarcastic and he takes it as serious. So I'm not gonna diagnose you, but you might have some sort of autism spectrum. I'm not a doctor, but you can't tell tones, honey boy. So yeah, you just can't. And she's being sarcastic. Oh yeah, you work so hard. Totally, you deserve a day off. Like um, the first thing was not, oh, how are you doing? What are you doing? You said today was so busy. You like it ends up first being about you. Oh, okay. No good morning, no hi, like no greeting. Mm, mm, okay, okay.
No, I do. Oh, um, I'll. I don't think I'm gonna make it tonight, actually. Well, I mean, I
Okay. Also, the sort of dread, the sort of like creepiness of this clock. The other way I like this clock in, it is in Mr. I can't think of the name. Hold on. But this sort of thing ends up being, so first and foremost, let's talk about the phone conversation. The phone conversation, he does not care about Nikki. Doesn't ask, hey, how are you? How your day going? He immediately was already being a creepy creeper on her page. Has kissy emojis for her when they're just friends. So he sees in his head, oh, this friendship is going to lead to us dating, and or I am friends with her currently and staying friends with her in the hope to date. Which, yeah, yucky. Um, so yeah, but there's this movie that I watched, and it's 20. I know it's 2024, and then Mr. C horror kids show, because I can't remember it is. Oh, Crocker. Mr. Crockett. Yeah, Mr. Crockett. I remembered it as soon as I looked it up. Mr. Crockett has a thing, is also a horror about a man feeling insecure and feeling like he didn't really have anything, and felt like his like life was void of like a father figure, a good mother figure, whatever. Y'all just, men just go, everyone needs therapy, but men just please go to therapy, guys. Just please. Like, what I'm saying is for Mr. Crockett, Baron, and Alex Myers, if y'all would just go to therapy, then maybe, I'm not saying it would immediately solve everything. That's not how that works. But it would also be the thing that maybe you'd be able to like have some fundamental thought about, oh, whoa, life is just not about me all the time and about other people. And I had a bad childhood, so this is why I act like this. Or my wife divorced me, like, at this point, 5 to 10 years ago, because he's been talking about this for, like, buddy, go to therapy, focus on yourself. Like, stop making jokes about it. Like, you're not in high school. Not in high school. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. But yeah, the creepy horror of the like eyes watching, and it ends up being. Hold on. We are running out of time as it pans to the clock, creepily staring at you. Like Cat's eyes are like that, but the contrast of the black and white on it ends up being like it's so creepy. It's like watching him. Who has a clock like that? It's just so creepy. Like even if you like cats, there's like a certain. Even his reaction. Look, let's. Okay, I have to analyze this. Okay, time to. We have to. Nope. Okay, he just is in bed. Let's analyze this. So bed is not made up all the way. You got some posters, cool. You got some mess on your nightstand, probably a pipe, slay. It's not too bad. I wouldn't say it's as bad as the rest of the house. Just slightly messy, but very clearly, that's the only. He has two those lights, but it's still a sort of dim sort of thing. And he's just in his bed doom scrolling, which people do, but like that's a sad immediate dopamine hit sort of thing. He ends up immediately getting up and starts smiling because again, he associates talking with her as a thing of like, oh, I enjoy this, blah 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 blah. I'm talking to Nikki because I love her, have a crush on him, or whatever. Right? So what Alex Myers also doesn't bring up in his quote unquote analyzation in defense of Bear is that Bear just is not looking out or cares about Nikki. He ends up phrasing it honestly the same way as Baron, our buddy, our friend. That, oh, you have to see it from his point of view, and he didn't really know, and he didn't really, and oh well, Bear didn't know, and he was trying his best, and at this point it's never been his time. No, from literally the first minute until the end of the movie, it's not about Nikki. It's about, what does Bear want? What will get his rocks off, so to speak? What will make him happy? What will brighten his day? He will end up being a sort of monotone and stuff like that. And even talking to Nikki about, like, it's not anything, like, she's not really going into depth about anything. However, he is taking the whole sun, moon, and stars from everything. Again, and they're not even dating. Which you can have that about friends, but the way he is viewing it is romantic when she sees it as purely platonic. Okay, what was I going to say?
What? Oh,
Okay, wait.
I need
Okay,
to.
smiling,
Okay.
fidgety, upset, upset,
You're okay?
running out of time,
Sorry.
freaking out, fake apology. Oh, do you have crystal necklaces?
Oh my god, that's crazy. What? No. Hold on a second. So this is all we have. Yeah, each rock has its own kind of unique energy and whatever. So the amethyst is for calmness, clarity, and then the rose quartz attracts like love and shit. It's one that's like good energy, like good vibes. Probably the citrine. I mean, it's basically sunshine and rock. So, yeah. Let me know if you need anything else.
Like, seriously? It's also the thing of, like, get her whatever. Like, it's not that deep. It's really not. It's the thought that counts. Just, like, pick up something and take it to the counter. But also, it's a thing of cowardness. Just pick it up. Just, yeah, I will know from, like, my friends and family. Just, like, it's the thought that counts. Pick up something and give it. Pick up something and give it. And then he starts looking around. Oh yeah, the famous Ron Low. And also, there is an alternative universe where Baron gets the voodoo doll. I know that for a fact. You know why? Because it is the same end up thing. It ends up being the same thing. The voodoo doll, you end up putting someone's hair on them, sewing it, making it look like them as a symbolization of them. Put their energy, essence, DNA on it to have the likeness and control them. That's what he ends up doing. He ends up making, oh my gosh, this movie. Wonderful. Wonderful. Let's keep going. And dude, also, it's only $6. It's only $7. You could get a crystal for her and a wish thing. Like, tell me you're cheap without telling me you're cheap. Okay, anyway. And being cheap isn't necessarily bad. It's just bare. What else is here? There's a chromoscope, shapes and colors, the likes of which amazes me. Magic eye. And I can't read the other things because I don't have my glasses on. But it looks like some sort of flute ball thingy, kazoo.
Well, it's not for me. Don't come back complaining. People complaining about these. Well, they're kind of like collectibles, so some people don't open them, but some do.
Foreshadowing is foreshadowing. Foreshadowing is foreshadowing. Okay, let's go back to specifically on how he interacts with her. She is very clearly busy on the phone doing other things, not prioritizing him. Also, the way she ends up leaning. First of all, she objectively is presentable, nice looking, and mm, like a sort of for like someone who works there, her vibe cutely and professionally matches the environment. So slay. I would be fumbling over my words too, and be like, I came here to get a crystal, but also I just don't. I'm not good with social environments. We have autism. Okay, so busy, preoccupied, on the phone, leaning hand on hip, body language towards the things. However, is showing that she is not interested in him like that, but interested in the conversation, which makes Bear flustered because he has no confidence. And also, it it also could just be a confident stance, like slay, yes, queen, you're putting your hand on your hip as you should. Okay, so during this whole thing, Bear is treating this as flirting. Look at his smile. Where is it? Hold on. He smiles, and then she gets uncomfortable. Hold on, because it ends up being a. So she smiles. She smiles to be polite, and look at his creepy. Dude, this is so well made. But look at his creepy reflection in the background. Anyway, everyone wants a wish. She's smiling out of politeness, trying to like, hey, I'm doing stuff. Can you just like get your thing and leave? He doesn't care. Or she doesn't care. Because she can tell, and this is how women act to things, that it ends up being a thing of, oh, I'll be nice, I'll talk to him, so that he doesn't end up being the one of those people that will come back and set it ablaze, which my ex did not understand, Alex does not understand, and Bear does not understand that a woman being afraid of you constantly is not you being a good person, a good man, a good provider, a good partner, like a good boyfriend. No. Okay, next. The whole time he's just staring at her. Like, this is hella creepy. And also, the thing is that Ian very clearly knows this. They have been friends at least since 12, 13, all the way till, we'll say, 20. Everyone's 23. Everyone's my age because that makes it easier and not put on an age range. All of them are 23, okay? So if they've known each other at this point for 10 years, they're just cross mouthing and like facial cues, like talking with their face. He if Ian likes Nikki, he will do everything in his power to make sure that Bear does not get with her. So he's been like at any point in time he could have been like, hey, actually me and Nikki are dating. I'm sorry to break this to you, but instead of confronting him, he's placating him and treating him like a child, which is a problem because treating a man like a child forever doesn't work. Like girls can't really have that. They're like over sexualized, have to mature really fast, stuff like that. Like and be parentified and all that sort of things. But men can be this sort of thing of boys will be boys forever. When does a man grow up? When does a boy grow up? So placating him, treating him like a child. Um. So this ends up going to he feels like he's owed, even in a thing where they are publicly together and was friends. The only thing he's been thinking about this whole movie is how he is going to get with Nikki. It's not about Nikki at all. And even when it is about Nikki, it's so that he can feel good, not listen, and continue the conversation. Even when she says, "Oh, I'm leaving," he's like, "Oh, why?" Not, "Oh, what's wrong?" It doesn't end up being about her. It's, "Oh, she's leaving and I want to confess to her and blah 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 blah." So owed. And then four, I'm not too sure what four would be right now. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's 10 to all commandments. Okay, let's go.
Wow. Wait, so what was the important stuff in the film today? A lot. There's a lot of really important things. And anything else? I'll get a pina colada. Pina colada? Don't make fun of my drink. What? I like a man's insight. Why is it feminine?
Also, his defensiveness. Again, calling a drink feminine can be, but is not the problem. So, sure, it's in a very feminine sort of curvy glass, very light, very fruity, but also the thing of men, and because that was put in their attention. I love this so much. We love this so much. So, um, no, it ended up being that he Baron ends up getting defensive about, oh, well, why is my drink feminine and why is my glass feminine? Why is it a bad thing? And that's not a feminine drink and I just don't like the taste of alcohol. She didn't say it was bad, twin. No need to get defensive. But also, you need hope. You need therapy, bro. Move on. Okay.
I don't like the taste of alcohol. Did you choose? Wow.
But also the thing is that she sees him as like a little brother, which we have not gotten to yet. But the way she talks to him is very like kid little brother esque. Just for the fact that like she is trying to make that very clear. And he's just not picking up on it because he does not want to. And he just does not know. Either he has autism or he's just painfully unaware. We don't know, chat, but I think it's painfully unaware because ow, dude, dude, ow, hold on, what? Coming back, and it's the end of the crying.
said I got it. You guys are doing that.
Thank you. You're welcome. Uh, anyway, I went to the store.
Oh, open.
And also the thing of her saying, hold on, look at her body language for a minute. Too far back. So yeah, he's going back and forth and being like, oh, they're talking, they're having a good time, chilling, vibing, right? And instead of him waiting and being patient, he's like, no, I need to say it. I need to say it now. It's been on my mind for the past all day.
I thought you got an Elisa.
No, I said I wanted a Lisa. Sorry. Good. Sorry. I just don't want you to get into life. Okay. I love you. What the fuck are you guys doing?
He's messing with me.
I look over and this was.
Hey, can you focus up? This is very serious to me.
I'm gonna get you talk. Great idea.
I'll be with you.
Thank you. Thank you. What the fuck are you guys doing? Oh, it's not.
He's really trying to like get him to not do it because he doesn't want him to.
Pina colada?
Don't wait for my drink. What?
I like a man's
Why is it?
Even the thing of Nikki, hold on.
Pina colada?
Look at how expressive she is before the wish.
What?
I like a man's
Why is it feminine? I don't like the taste of alcohol.
Yeah, what did you choose?
Wow.
Wait, so what was the important stuff?
I'll get a pina colada.
Pina colada?
Don't wait for my drink. What?
I like a man's
Even the way she ends up touching him ends up being a thing that is, again, all of this is intentional. Ends up being a thing that he is taking all of this in his mind as a thing of being romantic, and her thing is a thing of being platonic. And he does not get that.
Why is it feminine? I don't like the taste of alcohol.
Yeah, what did you choose?
Wow.
Wait, so what was the important stuff in the phone today?
A lot. Did a lot of really important things.
Okay. Very vague. So also the thing of, since he has no confidence from beginning until now, he will end up undermining himself and what he is saying just for the thing of being nicer, kinder, and stuff like that. But it's at his detriment. He'll end up not really talking to well, he'll talk to Ian because that's his friend, and talk to Sarah more and open up more. But it ends up being a thing that, as a nice guy, as someone who only as a it's not incel yet. It ends up being incel. But as a thing right now, as a nice guy, is that he's like, oh, I'm nice, I'm kind, I'm respectful, I'm doing this for other people. And then it ends up being a thing when the guard is down, when he's at home, that ends up being for himself. So it was easier for him to leave out. No, let's go before that. The mouth guard, letting him use a mouth guard so that wouldn't get in trouble from teacher. Yeah. All the way back at 12-13. Then it ends up being he ends up remembering that as, oh, she's kind, she's nice, she did something for me. However, also a thing about, oh, I needed that, oh, I needed that, oh, I was gonna get in trouble, blah 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 blah. So then it ends up going to, what can she do for me? Not her as a person. What can Nikki do for me?
Back cleaned. I did my taxes. I did.
You watch TV all day.
Yeah, that's all. So, I was thinking, got a car for you.
He could have said that there. Tick one.
I said I got it.
You guys are doing that.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Her joke versus his genuine. His joke, blah, blah, blah. Her joke, Nikki's joke versus Bear's genuine is she's joking lighthearted, very friendly. He's like, "Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that." Which is fine. However, oh, she's paying for it. Oh, she must like me. That's the sort of thing how it works and ends up feeding into his delusions of, oh, she likes me.
Open, babe.
Can't say that I usually drop you. Guys, Sarah just told me that her dad keeps a gun in the break room safe. Wow.
Are you serious?
That's serious.
I feel like
And him being mad about it. He's like, oh, I was owed this. Oh, this is the time I owned. I get it with Nikki. And like the body, like, dude, I'm in awe. I'm in awe. We are in awe. We are in awe. I was just trying to say that.
mentioned that or something.
Not a block away. It's
Oh
fine.
my god, I'm so sorry. You were saying something.
Hey, what were you saying? I was just saying, I'll tell you. I went to this.
I didn't realize we were all taking a field trip to Mars. All right.
Okay. Yeah. What are we cheersing to?
See? So, with that, very flirty, very. Honestly, I would have preferred them to be together. And then them to be together just because they go off of each other more. And the thing is that the way he's doing that, like, he's fine and they see each other and stuff like that, and she likes him. But the thing is that she's like, she took his hat. Like, I do that all the time to my partner. I also did that to my friends, but it's because I like taking things. I like, it's my belonging now. But no, that was a very, like, oh, okay, we'll hang out. You said that we're going. Okay, we're gonna go. We'll let them talk. It's already a pre notion of that. But also, the thing with him, he's just there wallowing. He's just gonna be like, I'm wallowing, and I need people to feel bad for me, and I'm just so nice to people, and no one understands. Okay, we are practicing voice acting. And then she stays and acts.
Sandy died.
What? Really? Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Bear, if you would have just said, hey, I would like the confidence to ask Snooki out, and then she said no, you could you fumbled a baddie. Okay, I'm sorry. But you fumbled. We're not sorry. We're not sorry. You Bear. But you were too busy being a nice guy who can't go to therapy. It's okay.
You're saying no to karaoke?
I'm saying no to bad singers and tabletops when I just want to go home.
Alright, so who's gonna dance when I sing shady the whole time?
It's very flirty.
Wait, Ian, let's hear do that.
Fuck that.
Sarah will sing, give me a G.
What the fuck is that? No, Sarah sucks.
Can you just go? Take me home. I just want.
And look, she ended up asking Ian to take her home. Notice she asked and was comfortable. It's she has so much autonomy here. She has so much autonomy here. Okay.
I had a long day.
I'll take you home.
Thank you. There, you have to go.
Fuck that.
Because you know why she's saying and that and touching, because they all kind of Sarah likes Bear, and it's very touchy feely and very like romantic touchy feeling, because you can tell the difference. So platonic is like jokey, like, oh, like, how do I explain it? When I would hang out with my friends and stuff like that, I would like nudge them, push them very softly, like flick them, or like tug on them or hold them, but it wouldn't end up being like the way I would tug on them or hold them would be like with half percentage. Like my I don't really like touch, so it wouldn't be all of the way full touch, but it would be a way to be like, oh, I'm being friendly, we're talking, we're using our body language to convey what we're doing. And then look, look. It only shows her upper body and facial expressions to convey to him. And this is how he sees her, as a sort of thing of like laughing, joking, rolling eyes. Yeah. However, it is in response to him to try to get like be upset at him through Bear or to Bear, and Bear is taking it as romantic.
Wait, Ian, what Sarah do you at? Fuck that. Sarah was saying, give me a G.
What the fuck was that? No, Sarah sucks.
Can you just go? Take me home.
See? Okay, so let me see. She gets serious. She goes from joking to serious.
What the fuck was that? No, Sarah sucks.
Can you just go? Take me home.
I just want to go home.
I had a long day. I don't want to.
And then he's like, how can I take advantage of this situation? How can I use this for my benefit? That's all this is. That's all this is, because Bear is selfish and he is a coward. And he only is thinking about himself and how to be nice so that it can win him brownie points. Let's go.
Go to the next fucking bar with you guys. We could drop her off in the way.
I can take you home. You're a real piece of work, man.
Thank you. There. You have to come.
Fuck that.
See how her body language shifts towards him? This is amazing.
Sorry.
Fuck you. Does anybody have cash? I think I have a 20. Wow. Here, 15. I'll pay you back. Can't have it. Great. Just bought a guy's car.
Even the way he sees it is like love song sort of. That's creepy. Like, why are you staring at her? And he's smiling. Ew.
Good night, guys.
A full hug.
You're home safe. Ian, get your girl home safe.
Ew, don't say it like that.
Ew.
Alright, Bear, let's get the fuck out of here.
Alright. Let's go. Fuck these losers. Let's go get fucked up.
Yeah, Bear, fuck you. Sorry about your cat, Bear.
It's okay.
He's just happy and smiling the whole time.
It's not, but I don't think it's like a good thing.
You know you can always call me when you're done.
It's gonna be weird. Seeing you every day.
I'm not happy there.
And she rolls her eyes to that. Like, it's gonna be different not seeing you every day. Yeah, okay, and deal with it. Not like that, but like, oh, again, it's still about him. I end up, oh, this car ride, like all of his conversations, like he's so selfish, but not to the point of like that he cares about himself. It's just that like, okay.
It's just a job.
Yeah, well, I want to write.
Sure.
He's undermining her feelings. From the very beginning, undermining her feelings. It's not about talking to Nikki. It's not about having a conversation with Nikki. It's about using Nikki as a surrogate for his feelings.
No, I feel like I need a big life change. I'm not feeling loved, and I want to feel loved, and I'm writing stories about it.
Oh. So it's a romance.
No, it's not a romance, it's a love story.
Isn't that the same thing?
You know, you're the only person that I could really talk to about this stuff.
And she starts to get like vulnerable and stuff like that. Was like you guys you ruined it. You ruined you guys' friendship. And then you guys spoilers, sorry, but they pretty much all die. So yeah, kinda, sorta.
Ew, no, that's
Okay, to the house. Pulls up to the house.
Sarah's asking, are y'all rated it?
So she is trying to make it clear and to push it towards someone else. Is that again, they've known each other at least since 13 years old. 10 years. 10 years, man. 7 to 10 years. Get over it. Get over it. Just, okay.
How do you feel about that? I'm asking how you feel about Sarah. How you feel about her having a crush on her. When I have a crush on a guy, no one knows.
I know because I analyze body language. Let's go. I know. We know. We know. We know. We know. We know. We know. Okay, go back. So that's very important to say because first, when Nikki ends up talking, it ends up pushing it about to be about Bear because she's noticing that. However, it's not a problem, and no one has really like brought it up as a bad thing. They just know he has bad self confidence, which can form into nice guy. Okay, so I'm actually going with the other people that he probably originally was not from the beginning of the movie till now is a nice guy. He has low confidence, which can turn into being a nice guy. Okay, so she's asking, hey, do you have like thoughts, feelings about Sarah, you know, crushing on and talking about you? And he's like, no, I see her as a friend, very clear, blankly. And she was like, oh, really?
Really? How do you feel about it? I'm asking.
Like, he can't even talk about his feelings and emotions with her. And then she just leaves because he's not having a conversation.
I was gonna ask you, I lost my train of thought. What else? Hey, do you remember in Mr. Lando's class when I threw my mouthpiece and he was like in a really pissy mood that day and he told me he had an extra one and he gave me yours, but like
There, Lando likes me. You don't have to ask.
To him, it's not. To her, it's not that deep. To him, it meant the world. And that sort of thing. So, yeah.
night, freaky Nikki.
Ew, don't call me that.
I know, I was kidding.
No, I don't like that.
Sorry. No, I'm sorry.
Do you like me?
What?
Because if you do, now's the time to tell me.
He can't even do that. Look, he looks so scared.
I I think we're good friends.
Good. Good. Good night.
Just like she's so uncomfortable. Like after that, dude. After that, I would understand why Nikki doesn't now even want to entertain the idea of liking him, even though it's already very clear that she doesn't. Also, now it is time to go to. Let's see how many tabs and what I have open. No. Okay, yeah. Okay, so Alex Myers obsession video specifically from Crispy Bacon, and let's see, 3 weeks ago, so that would be 2026. You said you talk way too much. My video is already 2 hours. No, my laptop died. But you're plugged in. How did you die and you're plugged in? Okay, well, I guess it's a time to take a break. But, up till now, it is very clear that Alex Myers and Baron both are not really taking accountability for their actions. Right now, Bear has done, let's say, 3 or 4 main things that has affected him or people around him. First, okay, first thing he does is that he pulls um Ian into his confession to Nikki, which is fine, maybe, because he's his friend. He doesn't he hasn't confessed to Nikki in 7 years, which is just dragging it out and making everyone else around him feel like sort of awkward. It ends up being a thing that it is very clear that everyone else sort of has their own lives and additionally is not going to placate and keep him in this sort of, oh, Bear and Nikki have a crush on each other and blah 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 blah, everything, the world sort of stops for that, which is how he's kind of acting and being like, which ends up being that he not only needs therapy but is probably stuck fundamentally at a high school point. um and then he ends up getting to and aiding someone stopping work to do a scene for him to confess his feelings. And even when he practices it, Ian makes him feel bad and says, no, not to do that. And you had 7 years, and why are you doing it now? A sort of thing. So ends up, Ian is not the best friend. He's a best friend, but he's not the bestest friend as a person. Just because instead of saying no, I like Nikki, like y'all suck as friends. And I would say, no, I wouldn't just say Ian sucks as a friend because, no, no. I would say in general they suck as friends because Ian doesn't just say, hey, I have been crushing on, flirting with, blah blah blah, whatever, have a crush on Nikki, and I know we both have a crush on the same person. However, I think Sarah likes you. Or even just saying period point blank, hey, me and Nikki sort of have been talking and hanging out and stuff like that, and we have a crush on each other. And then end up saying, Sarah end up being like, oh, I have a crush on you. Like, no one can, like, tell Baron to his face, hey, like, it ends up, like, putting everyone else at, like, a deficit. Also, how are you not? You're like charged though. You're like plugged in. See, and you are a little late. You have a little late. It's okay. You're just tired. It's okay. Um, that's the first. Ends up putting the Ooh, and it's the thing of that he ends up being very nice, and then he just turns into a nice guy because of his. Okay. Let's see. And then the cat, he never takes accountability for that or never ends up stating to anyone, not even his best, like his claimably best friend Ian. He's never says, hey, Sandy died and I left my pills out and I'm kind of grieving that and I don't want to go out. Even if instead of talking to Nikki about it, he talked to Ian again. Because when Ian ends up, Ian is just for like manly bro like stuff, and then for Nikki and Sarah it's end up being like a more emotional thing. So that doesn't take accountability for when the cat dies, doesn't throw away the medicine, and then he has 16 we counted them together, guys. 16 pill bottles. Throw all of them away. Go to therapy, clean your house. Like, dude, okay. um and then let's see. What ends up happening next? Oh, and then he's being creepy on the phone to Nikki. Um, 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 mm, Creepy on the phone with Snooki, watching her photos, stuff like that, being on the phone. Oh, he had, probably before that, he had more chances to do that. Yes, the past 7 years. However, in the movie, additionally, he had two or three chances before he even went to meet up with Nikki and the group to be like, hey, actually, I was kind of expecting, I was actually going to talk to you tonight about, hey, I like you and have a crush on you. And then easily it could have been over the phone and not as in person and not as like the fear of doing it um like in person, because I get that too. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be in person and they might have a bad like, I might not want to see the way they react facially, so it's easier to do it over the phone where their emotions can like be portrayed easier. um so that, let's see, he doesn't end up taking accountability for not confessing. Then when he's with in the, oh, the defensiveness. So next would end up being the defensiveness and being feeling like he's owed or feeling that he needs that. So um it's gotten to the point where Baron is a nice guy. He feels like he's owed from the past 7 years until now. Feels like he is owed Nikki and has to like Nikki and has to date. It's not even crossing his mind like, oh, Nikki might date someone else. No, it's beyond that point. It's beyond the point of him just like being nice, kind, caring. Because no, it's also the thing of feeling old. Like it's everyone's time and it's him over everyone else. Ian ends up being like, "Oh no, I want to do this XYZ. Please don't do this. I had a plan. Please don't end up ruining our hangout session by confessing in the middle of it. Like that's very selfish to do." Then it ends up moving from his cat, leaving his house a mess, leaving his pills out. A very, oh, it's easier to leave my pills out and not take care of my stuff and not take care of my house, and then it ends up affecting the cat. And yes, you can be sad about the loss of your cat, but also he's not taking accountability for that thing. That's that. And then for the next thing, the next main thing is that he doesn't take accountability or say first and foremost, like he'd rather drag things on for the thing of that it's quote unquote easier, but it's not gonna get done. There's that. And then on the phone, when he goes into the store, that's very important, that he ends up following around and talking to and trying to have conversation with the employee, with the thing of um oh, she was busy doing stuff and he just didn't care and just kept trying to have conversation with her because she was a woman and she was there. What is next? We need to remember what is next in the movie. Mm, 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 mm. We are trying to remember what is next. Oh, okay. Them actually going out. So the friend group going out ends up being the whole time. Ian is trying to pay attention to the conversation. Bear the whole time is only thinking about himself. Ends up being the thing of, oh, I need a conference to make you because blah blah blah, and yeah, like that's why you can't. That's why you aren't like understanding. Even if you saw from your point of view, which is not fine, it is fundamentally flawed. But even if what you claim to do is to provide a nuanced look into Bear, you could have been like, oh, okay, this is his actions, and this how is how I act, and or how I have seen people act, and this is the claim that I am making, that hey, Baron is a nice, kind, and not selfish person, and to say this is that, which would be incorrect. However, you could make that claim and back up your arguments, but your thing isn't for a media analysis, it's just jokey jokes. So maybe take a debate class, buddy, or do a paper whenever you last wrote like a college paper. Okay, next. Do 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 do. Then they are in the bar. Then they go outside. yeah, okay. So Nikki is like, please, please, Ian, can you take me back? And he's like, no, I want you guys to socialize, blah 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 blah, and stuff like that, because he's trying to do it out like out. He's trying to help his friend and be like, oh, if you're gonna confess, it's gonna be in a public setting or stuff like that, so you don't make a scene or whatever, and then we can deal with it together later. However, Bear would rather be selfish and be like, no, I want to take her back, blah, 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 instead of clocking it and understanding, hey, the group is trying to stay together and hang out. And even if Nikki wants to go home, be like, oh, Nikki, it's going to be only a few, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Like, the goal is for them to help him, for, at this point, Ian to help him and be like, oh, hey, I know you have a crush on Nikki. Let's try to like prolong this night so that you can actually confess to her. It has to end up, it can't just be like sprung on, because then it's gonna creep her out. But he's not thinking about it. He is talking about it immediately getting done because now he wants to do it. And then they get in the car and drive. And then he's like, oh, why are you leaving? And romance is loving the same. Okay, hopeless romantic. The phrasing, I remember. The phrasing of saying hopeless romantic on the thing, on the description, that ends up being hopeless romantic versus love, true love, or being in love. So hopeless romantic is that thing on TV where you end up being, oh, I love you, and I'm gonna take you on a date, and we're gonna sing to movies, and blah 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 blah. And it's sort of this easy breezy, sort of simple love. Wrong. Incorrect. Incorrect. No. Red choice. So love is not like that, and I would know because I've been in a relationship and multiple relationships throughout my life. Even for family or friend love, it is not immediate. It's not grand gestures. It's not how BoJack Horseman 2015 citation credit how BoJack Horseman end up would be like, dude, what's my citation? I ended up forgetting what I was saying. Hold on. Pew 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 pew. Let's rewind my thoughts a bit. Rewind. 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 I said, helpless. Rewind. Never be. Okay, I'm sorry. We're sorry. But not really. Rewind. Rewind. Helpless. Rewind. Okay. Focus. We need to focus. Okay, back to so Ian is trying to keep the group together because he knows what's going on. Sarah and Nikki want to hang out. However, Nikki wanted to leave at that moment because she was uncomfortable and or she just wanted to go home or tired or whatever. Sometimes I want to go home because I'm hungry or the lights are too bright or I just want to be outside for a minute and not go immediately to the next activity. And I'll say that and just be overstimulated. 1. 2, then it ends up being that instead of thinking about anything, he ended up thinking it from his point of view of like, oh, now I'm thinking, now a light bulb went off in my head, oh, I can use that to confess. Not thinking or not talking to his friend, which also is a fundamental thing and problem that he has, that he can't communicate. He's not talking with his friend. That he like, what's going on? What's the plan? Like, he's trying to talk to him over the table. He could just be like, hey, one moment, I need to leave. No, I want to do this immediately and out. Like, nah, Bear is a nice guy. Ew, Bear, icky. Because then it ends up being, the thing is like akin to, similar to my ex and Alex, that Mr. Myers, that that instead of taking accountability of your actions, for Bear being like, hey, I messed up with the cat and I messed up not confessing to Nikki, but I'd like to confess to Nikki now. How can we do this? Do you have a plan? And then if it goes bad, okay, cool. But he can't even entertain that thought though. Like, what you guys are missing is he cannot entertain the thought at all that Nikki does not like him. He's already beyond the point of the like I was saying earlier, the boys can't cry, then it goes to the cowardness, then it ends up going to the rejection, then it ends up the thing to owed. He feels like he is owed this. He is because first it comes from the origin. Zero is the origin. One is the cowardness in puberty, specifically young puberty, of like when you're in elementary school and middle school and you go up to your first crush and you're like, I have a crush on you and I think we should date. I think we should hold hands and share ice cream cones at the playground and do you want to be my girlfriend sort of thing. Is beyond that point. It's got to the point where he is already past rejection because, and the reason I'm saying that, even though he has not been rejected, he can very clearly tell, and I'm not saying for other things, and I'm not, because I don't know what's happened. Let's say hypothetically, for the sake of this argument, that Ian has been like, hey, I don't know if Nikki likes you, but like I don't know if Nikki likes you. However, I would not like to do this now. And it's kind of pushing it off. And he's like, no, I want to do this. No, I want to do this. No, I want to make sure it gets done. At this point, his focus is making sure that he is confessing by any means or matters by hell or high water, which is innately selfish. But the reason I am the ow tummy ache. The reason we are bringing this up is because instead of focusing it on the other person or even asking about other things, he has gotten to the point of his past rejection because he is not even thinking of that as an option. For the past 7 years, he has been in the mindset, oh, if I tell Nikki that I like her, then it's gonna end up being a thing that she will say yes and then we'll end up dating. Like, that's where he's at. And the reason I say that's where he's at is because he's always thinking of having a heartfelt point out emotions, and then it ends up being a positive response, which gives him that positive feedback loop of, oh, well, the Raider said and Ian said that it's gonna go good, and I think it's gonna go good too because I like her. Like it never crosses his mind, and that's how it ends up being. When you get rejected previously so many times, then it ends up being that you end up feeling like any sort of rejection is an attack on you, your character, your personhood. God damn it, y'all need therapy. We need therapy. Everyone needs therapy. Men need therapy. Okay, next. Wow, 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 what is next? And then they get in the car together. And also, the thing is that the whole time of this movie, the past like 15 times I've watched this, yes, 15 times, and this would be the 16th time, um, it ends up being the thing that, it ends up being the thing that bounce, 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 don't no, I do not like that thought. Do not have that thought. Thank you. Okay. So it ends up being a thing that yeah, it ends up being a thing that taking taking her back to the house, to her house, feeling like, oh, this is the time that he's gonna confess. Oh, blah blah blah, I'm gonna do it. But it's the thing, not even of cowardice. It's the thing that he's like, oh, if I end up actually saying it, I'll get it rejected again. And I've already gotten rejected so many times, and also I cannot handle the thing of rejection. So then he ends up getting mad. Instead of being logical, he ends up getting mad, which is the main emotion for men because they can end up crying from zero, from the beginning. Um, and then he breaks the wish, and then she ends up like doing whatever he wants, particularly getting back into the car and trying to like talk to him and hang out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But from all of that, it's one, always been about him. Two, whenever people try to talk about their self, make a plan, or do other things, he ends up getting upset or end up like his face contorts. And I really love the acting, the character acting. That his face ends up contorting in this weird way. That he's like perturbed and cannot end up like registering at all that hey, maybe there's this yeah, maybe it ends up being the sort of thing that ooh, oh, okay. Yeah, so it ends up being the sort of thing that any sort of rejection or no or uncomfortable, he ends up actually tantruming because that's what he does the first time. He's like, no, I didn't mean to, and I'm trying my best, and I don't know why people can't appreciate I'm trying my best. And I'm like, dude, man, chill out. Like, chill, bro. Maybe you should be paying attention to the cleanliness of your house so your cat doesn't die. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe focus on yourself, buddy. But okay, that's where that is specifically for Bear Baron. The way that it correlates to because my ex is a nice guy. That's how I can tell that Baron is a nice guy. Nice guy meaning acting nice, acting kind, acting respectful. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I like what you're doing. I like what you're wearing. I appreciate you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then people feel bad for you. The sort of pity of feeling bad, of um, oh, I'm trying my best, and oh, it's just my best intention, and I didn't mean to assault you. I didn't mean to creepily follow you around campus. I didn't mean to lie to you and abuse you in front of all of my friends and make you feel bad. I'm just a small little boy, and I didn't mean to do that. And actually, you should feel bad for me because when I go out in the street, I get catcalled, and you should know how that feels. I'm like, excuse me, are you okay? That's that. And then as far as Alex Myers, the thing of over sexualizing women, he has always done that. Always. Always. It's a staple trademark of his videos. The men end up being like sort of, and it says a lot about him that the men end up being like, does he even do men? No. I mean, maybe. Yeah, okay. So the men end up being like generic, generalized, like sort of not stick figure, but sort of like everyday sort of clothes attire. And then for the women, it ends up being a mixture of both. It ends up being a mixture of over sexualized drawings and then being general attire, right? Right. However, it's always end up being like, wow, how did it end up turning into a thing of that? Oh, your wife ended up leaving, so now you over sexualize everyone and hate all. Oh, you hate women because you got your heart broken. Oh, boo-hoo, go to therapy. Okay, but yeah, it ends up being a thing that with Alex Myers, with Bear, the character, was Bear Baron the character, was my ex, that first and foremost, you have end up having so bad confidence that you end up pushing and portraying as a pity, sorry, someone to feel bad for kind of person, and then in turn makes it seem like, and to yourself again, because it's lying to yourself, that you're okay, you're good, you're doing everything correct from the first video that, um, from the first video Alex ended up commenting, oh no, you guys don't understand. I put disclaimer, but I'm trying to give a nuanced take on Bear. Where's the analysis, dude? It's just jokes. And then as far as the reaction afterwards, whether it be on Instagram, the two apology videos you made, the comments that you made precedingly after, you only apologize and correct your behavior when someone calls it out, not because you feel like it's wrong, but because you're trying to bandage it and placate and fix it because your main thing is money and the views, bro. And you just gotta admit that to yourself. And then maybe after this, you can get therapy and not come back to the internet and then say, "Oh, I've had therapy and I've changed." No, that's not how that works. You have to show with your actions, not your words. Okay, and I think that's it because it's 2 hours and 20 minutes now, and yippee!